Okay, so let us now look at another example which highlights another type of market failure that can happen in this competing market for incompatible network goods. Now, in the previous example, the main focus was in understanding the dynamics of technology adoption. And so what we had done is we had modeled the consumers as simply as possible, right? So we had the consumers acting in a very mechanical way. Each of them were coming, they were just observing what's going on around them, and then on the basis of that, make a decision. Now, in the coordination problem, which will be the other type of market failure that we are looking at, what is going to be important is the strategic behavior of the agents and not the dynamics of the problem, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to simplify the dynamics, but think more deeply about the strategic aspects of the consumer behavior. So we are going to involve tools from game theory mode in this example. So let's look at the setup. So you have got two users who are deciding whether they want to keep a old network good, which we are going to call good A, or they want to move to a new good, which we are going to call good B, right? So each of the users are going to be independently and simultaneously be making this decision about whether to choose good A or good B. Now, each users know the preference of the other users about the two goods. So we are basically in a world of complete information, and both the users are identical in the sense that they have the same utility for the network goods. So what this means is that if a user is going to choose good A, then the user is going to get a utility, which is given by this expression that you see here, right? So AA is the standalone benefit that comes from using good A. NA is the number of users who are using good A. VA is the basically the network effect that is coming in from good A, right? And similarly, for if somebody chooses to use good B, then this is the utility that that person is getting. So AB again is the standalone benefit from using good B. NB is the number of users of good B, and VB is the network effect that is coming in. Okay. So this is the idea that we have. The parametric assumptions that we are going to make is that there is some network effect so that VA and VB are strictly greater than 0. And we are also going to assume that good B provides higher standalone benefit so that you have AB minus AA is greater than 0. Okay, so those are the parametric restrictions we are going to assume in our setup. So now we can actually frame this in the form of the normal table that you have seen before. So you have got basically for each of the two users, you have got a choice between choosing the old good A or the new good B. So player one and player two. So think of them as the row player and the column player, if you like. So what happens if both of them end up choosing good A? So in that case, the payoff of the users is given by AA plus 2VA. Why 2VA? Remember, the NA is going to be 2 if both of them are choosing good A, right? And this is going to also be the payoff for the second player, right? What happens if the first player selects B and the second player chooses good A? So in that case, the payoff to the first player is going to be AB plus VB. Here, VB is going to be there because the number of players who are going to adopt good A is 1, and the number of players who is going to adopt good B is also 1. And so therefore, the payoff to player 2 is going to be AA plus VA, right? So similarly, this is how you should interpret the payoffs in the other entries in this matrix, right? So this is I hope, quite understandable from this expression that we have here, right? And now this is the matrix that you have seen, I am sure, a lot of times when you have considered strategic games. Okay, so now we want to think about equilibrium in such a framework. So notice one thing, that there cannot be an equilibrium in which the two users adopt different goods. Why would it be the case? Because let's consider this. Suppose that you think that the first player choosing the new good B and the second player choosing the old good A is an equilibrium. So what would this require? This would require, for instance, that AB plus VB has to be greater than equal to AA plus 2VA. And it would also require AA plus VA to be greater than equal to AB plus 2VB, right? This is the standard definition of Nash equilibrium. So for something to be an equilibrium, there cannot be any unilateral deviation that would lead to a higher payoff, right? Now, you have got these two equations. If you add up these two equations, right, and simplify, you can see that this will end up leading to this conclusion that 0 is greater than equal to VA plus VB, right? How, again, did we get these two equations? So we got these two equations, we got it from these two equations, that AB plus VB has to be greater than AA plus 2VA. Okay, that's one equation. And the second equation is AA plus VA has to be greater than AB plus 2VB, right? So these are the two non-deviation. So these are the two equations that are coming from the fact that in Nash equilibrium, you cannot deviate unilaterally and be strictly better off, right? And once you get those two equations, add them up, and then you end up getting this. Now, this is a problem because this contradicts our assumption that we had made that VA and VB are both strictly greater than zero, right? So therefore, their sum cannot be less than equal to zero, right? So therefore, from here, we know that there cannot be an equilibrium in which two users add up different goods. Okay, can we have the other equilibrium, right? So can we have an equilibrium that both of them are choosing the old good, right? So in order for this to be an equilibrium, let's see what we require. We require that again, AA plus 2VA to be greater than equal to AB plus VB, right? So we can write this here. This is what we require. And now if we rearrange this, we end up getting that this would imply that delta is less than equal to 2VA minus VB, right? So remember that delta is AB minus AA. So here I'm just taking this AA to the right hand side, right? So therefore I get that delta is less than equal to 2VA minus VB. Similarly, I can look at what's the condition that I require in order for both adapting the new good B. So again, we go back to this table. So for that, we require that AB plus 2VB has to be greater than equal to AA plus VA, right? So this condition, and again, we can rewrite this in terms of delta, right? So move AA to this side. So you end up that this would imply that delta is greater than equal to VA minus 2VB, right? Now, you can actually plot this in a graph, right? So let's see what we have in this graph. So on the y-axis, we are going to have this term delta that you see here in this equation, here in this equation, and this is the definition of delta, remember, okay? So these are the two equations that we are going to plot. So here we have one equation and here we have the other equation. So this is the delta that you have here. And on the x-axis, we are going to plot VB, okay? So we are going to see how delta changes as a result of VB. Now, clearly, you observe that this is basically inequality that is coming from a line, right? So first you basically plot delta is equal to 2VA minus VB. So we can see that is clearly the equation of a line. And if we go here, we can actually see that this is going to be one such line, right? So we have got delta. So the 2VA is the intercept, right? And if you put in delta equal to 0, so then VB is going to come from 2VA, right? So you are going to get one such equation. And what do we get from here? So both of the person are going to choose good A if you have this actually holding, right? So in order for both of them choosing good A, you require this set of parametric conditions to hold, right? And so therefore, what you get from there is that if you are below this line, right, this extreme line that you are seeing, then in these three regions, 1, 2, and 3, in all these cases, we are going to have that AA can be a equilibrium, right? So that is one equilibrium. And in the other case, where you have got delta is greater than equal to VA minus 2VB, so we can again plot this. This is also inequality coming from a line. So if you go ahead and plot it, you will get this line, right? And so if we are above this, so in regions 2, 3, and 4, we can have BB as a equilibrium, right? So what you get from this is a bit interesting, right? You get that in region 1 and 4, we are making basically direct predictions in the sense that we are saying that only AA can be equilibrium, right? And in region 4, we have that only BB can be the equilibrium, so that we have got a unique equilibrium. But in regions 2 and 3, we have got that both AA and BB can be equilibrium, right? So you have the possibility of multiple equilibrium. Okay, so that is what we get from just kind of like studying this equation and this equation. So that's the first part. But now we can also think about the welfare implications of the choices made by the different consumers, right? So here the welfare concept that we'll be kind of like thinking about is Pareto dominant equilibrium, right? So what is the Pareto dominant equilibrium? So this is the equilibrium that leads to the highest aggregate payoff, right? So what is the aggregate payoff? So this is basically the sum of the payoff of player 1 and player 2. Now, from a Pareto dominant perspective, good 2 should be adopted if the total payoff to the two players from adopting good B is higher than the total payoffs to the two players from adopting good A, right? So if both of them had adopted good B, then the payoff to any one of the players is going to be AB plus 2VB. And you can multiply by that by 2 to get the total payoff the two players. But if the players had adopted, both of them had adopted good A, then the payoff to each of the players is AA plus 2VA. And again, you can multiply by 2 to get the total payoff, right? So you can cancel the 2, and then this basically becomes an inequality which says that as long as delta is greater than 2 VA minus VB, you are going to have that good B should have been adopted, right? There, the total payoff to the players is higher than if they had adopted good A. But if this inequality is reversed, right, then you have got that good A should have been adopted, right? So if it's equality, then you are indifferent between which one should be adopted. Okay, so we can also plot this in the picture that we had. So again, this is also, if you notice, an inequality that is coming in from a straight line, right? And this is basically this inequality that you kind of like see here, right? So because you've got that 2VA will be the intercept, and then this one will have VB as the right? So what you get from here is also interesting, right? So you get from here that in regions 3 and 4, you have got that BB is the Pareto dominant equilibrium, right? That is where this inequality is satisfied. And in regions 1 and 2, you have got that AA is the Pareto dominant equilibrium, right? So now if we combine these two things, right, about our predictions about what sort of equilibria do we expect to emerge, as well as what do we know about the welfare properties of different regions, this is what we end up getting, right? So this is summarized here. So in region 1, you have got that AA is the unique equilibrium. And in fact, it's also the Pareto dominant equilibrium, right? So if the parameter values are such that you are in region 1, then everything is fine in the sense that both of them are going to actually adopt good A. And this is actually the optimal thing to do from a social welfare perspective as well, right? Similarly, in region 4, the prediction is that in such cases, BB is the unique Nash equilibrium, okay? And it's also going to be the equilibrium which is Pareto dominant in the sense that it gives the highest welfare to all the total participants in the society, right? But in regions 2 and 3, you encountered a more interesting situation where you have got the phenomenon of multiple equilibrium. So in both region 2 and 3, both AA and BB can be equilibria, right? So we discussed this already. But in region 2, you have got that AA is the Pareto dominant equilibrium and BB is Pareto dominant equilibrium in region 3, right? So that tells us that in regions 2 and 3, there is some possibility of an equilibrium coming which is going to be inefficient, right? So for example, in region 2, where you have got that AA is the Pareto dominant equilibrium, we can end up with a situation where consumers are choosing, actually both of them choosing B, right? And similarly in region 3, where BB is the Pareto dominant equilibrium, we can actually have an equilibrium in which both of them are choosing A, right? So we want to focus on these two things. We are thinking of these two things as the potential market failure, if you like, or the coordination failure actually in this case. So let's think about it. So why are these coordination failure coming along? So in area 3, remember in area 3, this is the case where you have got BB being Pareto dominating, but maybe consumers are ending up with the old equilibrium, right? So this would be a case where you have excess inertia, right? What does that mean? It means that the users are coordinating on the old good, even though the new good should have been adopted from a Pareto perspective, right? In the sense that that would have given them higher total welfare, right? Why can it occur? Basically, the consumers are coordinating on the old good because they are fearing that if they switch and the other person does not switch, that would lead to a lower welfare, right? So this is basically the reason why you cannot actually coordinate on the new good and are stuck being in the old good, right? So that's why it's called a coordination failure, right? Because the consumers cannot coordinate to move to the new good. Okay. What about the other type of failure that can happen? So this can happen in area 2, where you can have a failure due to excess momentum, right? So remember, what is the failure that is possible in area 2? So here we know that AA is the Pareto dominant equilibrium, but you can have an equilibrium where both of the consumers make the switch to BB, right? So why is that basically kind of happening? This is again because the consumers switch to the new good because they fear that if they are going to be in the old good, then they are going to be stranded alone with the old good, right? Although it would be preferable for both of them to stick to the old good, just because they fear being stranded alone with the old good, they end up moving to the new good, right? So that's the intuition basically. Okay, so how do I summarize this example? So the idea is simple. Owing to the different sort of coordination problems that can happen among consumers, whenever we are talking about the adaptation of different network goods which are incompatible with each other, we may well end up with a situation where there may be excess inertia or excess momentum. And this adds to our picture of, what sort of market problems that can happen whenever we are studying this market for several network goods.